All right, Exodus 1. And these are the names of the children of Yasharal who were coming to Egypt. With Jacob, each man in his household came. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the persons who emerged from Jacob's loins were 70 souls, and Joseph was in Egypt. Joseph died, and all his brothers in that entire generation. The children of Yasharal were fruitful, teemed, increased, and became strong, very, very much so, and the land became filled with them. A new king arose over Egypt, who did not know Joseph. He said to his people, Behold, the children of Yasharal, are more numerous and stronger than we. Come, let us outsmart it, lest it become numerous, and it may be that if a war will occur, it too may join our enemies, and wage war against us, and go up from the land. So they appointed taskmasters over it in order to afflict it with their burdens. It built storage cities for Pharaoh, Pithom, and Ramses. But as much as they would afflict it, so would it increase, and so it would spread out. And they became disgusted because of the children of Yasharal. Egypt enslaved the children of Yasharal with crushing harshness. They embittered their lives with hard work, with mortar and with bricks, and with every labor of the field. All their labors that they performed with them were with crushing harshness. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of the first was Shiphrah, and the name of the second was Puah. And he said, When you deliver the Hebrew women and you see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, you are to kill him, and if it is a daughter, she shall live. But the midwives feared Yah, and they did not do as the king of Egypt spoke to them, and they caused the boys to live. The king of Egypt summoned the midwives and said to them, Why have you done this thing, that you have caused the boys to live? The midwives said to Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are unlike the Egyptian women, for they are experts. Before the midwife comes to them, they have given birth. Yahweh benefited the midwives, and the people increased and became very strong. And it was because the midwives feared Yahweh that he made them houses. Pharaoh commanded his entire people, saying, Every son that will be born into the river shall you throw him, and every daughter shall you keep alive. That sound like them Asians. Actually, no, never mind. The Asians killed the females. I'm tripping. That's the reverse. Anyway, chapter 2. A man went from the house of Levi, and he took a daughter of Levi. A woman conceived and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was good, and she hid him for 3 months. She could not hide him any longer, so she took him for him a wicker basket, and smeared it with clay and pitch. She placed the child into it and placed it among the reeds at the bank of the river. His sister stationed herself at a distance to know what would be done with him. Pharaoh's daughter went down to bathe by the river, and her maidens walked along the river. She saw the basket among the reeds, and she sent her maidservant, and she took it. She opened it and saw him, the child, and behold, a youth was crying. She took pity on him and said, This is one of the Hebrew boys. His sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and summon for you a wet nurse from the Hebrew woman who will nurse the boy for you? The daughter of Pharaoh said, Go. The girl went and summoned the boy's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Take this boy and nurse him for me, and I will give your pay. So the woman took the boy and nursed him. The boy grew up, and she brought him to the daughter of Pharaoh, and he was a son to her. She called his name Moses. And she said, For I drew him from the water. It happened in those days that Moses grew up and went out to his brethren, and observed their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian man striking a Hebrew man of his brethren. He turned this way and that, and saw that there was no man. So he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. He went out the next day, and behold, 2 Hebrew men were fighting. He said to the wicked one, Why would you strike your fellow? He replied, Who appointed you as a dignitary, a ruler, and a judge over us? Do you propose to murder me as you murdered the Egyptian? Moses was frightened, and he thought, Indeed, the matter is known. Pharaoh heard about this matter and sought to kill Moses. So Moses fled from before Pharaoh and settled in the land of Midian. He sat by a well. The minister of Midian had 7 daughters. They came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's sheep. The shepherds came and drove them away. Moses got up and saved them and watered their sheep. They came to Reuel, their father. He said, "How could you come so quickly today?" They replied, "An Egyptian man saved us from the shepherds, and he even drew water for us and watered the sheep." He said to his daughters, "Then where is he? Why did you lead the man? Summon him and let him eat bread." Hold up. Ain't his name supposed to be, what's that dude's name? Anyway, hold up. Moses desired to dwell with the man, and he gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses. She gave birth to a son, and he named him Gershom, for he said, "I have been a stranger in a foreign land." During those many days, it happened that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Yasharal groaned because of the work, and they cried out. Their outcry because of the work went up to Yahweh. Yahweh heard their moaning, and Yahweh remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Yahweh saw the children of Yasharal, and Yahweh knew. Chapter 3. Moses was shepherding the sheep of Jethro. That's what his name was. Why they call him Reuel? Shepherding the sheep of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. He guided the sheep far into the wilderness, and he arrived at the mountain of Yahweh toward Horeb. An angel of Yahweh appeared to him in a blaze of fire from amid the bush. He saw, and behold, the bush was burning in the fire, but the bush was not consumed. Moses thought, "I will turn aside now and look at this great sight. Why will the bush not be burned?" Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, and Yahweh called out to him from amid the bush and said, "Moses, Moses." And he replied, "Here I am." He said, "Do not come closer to here. Remove your shoes from your feet, for the place upon which you stand is holy ground." And he said, "I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob." Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to gaze towards Yahweh. Yahweh said, "I have indeed seen the affliction of my people that is in Egypt, and I have heard its outcry because of its taskmasters, for I have known of its sufferings. I shall descend to rescue it from the hand of Egypt, and to bring it up from that land to a good and spacious land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And now, behold, the outcry of the children of Yasharal has come to me, and I have also seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppress them. And now, go, and I shall dispatch you to Pharaoh, and you shall take my people, the children of Yasharal, out of Egypt." Moses replied to Yahweh, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should take the children of Yasharal out of Egypt?" And he said, "For I shall be with you, and this is your sign that I have sent you. When you take the people out of Egypt, you will serve Yahweh on this mountain." Moses said to Yahweh, "Behold, when I come to the children of Yasharal and say to them, 'The Elohim of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they say to me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" Yahweh answered Moses, "I shall be as I shall be." And he said, "So shall you say to the children of Yasharal, 'I shall be has sent me to you.'" Yahweh said further to Moses, "So shall you say to the children of Yasharal, 'Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob, has dispatched me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my remembrance from generation to generation. Go and gather the elders of Yasharal and say to them, Yahweh, the God of the Elohim of your forefathers, has appeared to me, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I have surely remembered you and what is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I shall bring you up from the affliction of Egypt to the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey. They will heed your voice. You and the elders of Yasharal shall come to the king of Egypt and say to him, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, happened upon us. And now please let us go on a 3-day journey in the wilderness, and we shall bring offerings to Yahweh our Elohim. I know that the king of Egypt will not allow you to go, except through a strong hand. I shall stretch out my hand, and I shall strike Egypt with all my wonders, that I shall perform in his midst, and after that he will send you out. I shall grant this people favor in the eyes of Egypt, so that it will happen that when you go, you will not go empty-handed. Each woman shall request from her neighbor, and from the one who lives in her house, silver vessels, golden vessels, and garments, and you shall put them on your sons and daughters, and you shall empty out Egypt. Chapter 4. Moses responded and said, but they will not believe me, and they will not heed my voice, but they will say, Yahweh did not appear to you. Yahweh said to him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a staff. He said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a snake. Moses fled from it. Yahweh said to Moses, stretch out your hand and grasp its tail. He stretched out his hand and grasped it tightly, and it became a staff in his palm, so that they shall believe that Yahweh, the Elohim of your forefathers, appeared to you, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. Yahweh said further to him, bring your hand to your bosom. And he brought his hand to his bosom. Then he withdrew it. And behold, his hand was leprous, like snow. He said, return your hand to your bosom. And he returned his hand to his bosom. Then he removed it from his bosom, and behold, it reverted to be like his flesh. It shall be that if they do not believe you and do not heed the voice of the first sign, they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall be that if they do not believe even these two signs, and do not heed your voice, then you shall take from the water of the river, and pour it out on the dry land. And the water that you shall take from the river will become blood when it is on the dry land. Moses replied to Yahweh, please, my Lord, I am not a man of words, not since yesterday, nor since the day before yesterday, nor since you first spoke to your servant, for I am heavy of mouth and heavy of speech. Then Yahweh said to him, what makes a mouth for man? Or who makes one dumb or deaf, or sighted or blind? Is it not I, Yahweh? So now go, I shall be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. He replied, please, my Lord, send through whomever you will send. The wrath of Yahweh burned against Moses. And he said, is there not Aaron? I almost said Aaron. Is there not Aaron, your brother, the Levite? I know that he will surely speak. Moreover, behold, he is going out to meet you, and when he sees you, he will rejoice in his heart. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I shall be with your mouth and with his mouth, and teach you both what you are to do. He shall speak for you to the people, and it will be that he will be your mouth, and you will be his leader. And this staff you shall take in your hand, with you, which you shall perform the signs. So Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law. Why they get this dude 3 different names? And he said to him, let me go back to my brethren who are in Egypt, and see if they are still alive. And Jethro said to Moses, go to peace. Yahweh said to Moses and Midian, go, return to Egypt, for all the people who seek your life had died. So Moses took his wife and sons, mounted them on the donkeys, and returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the staff of Yahweh in his hand. Yahweh said to Moses, when you go to return to Egypt, see all the wonders that I put in your hand, and perform them before Pharaoh. But I shall strengthen his heart, and he will not send out the people. You shall say to Pharaoh, so said Yahweh, my firstborn son is Yasharal. So I say to you, send out my son, that he may serve me. But you have refused to send him out. Behold, I shall kill your firstborn son. It was on the way in the lodging that Yahweh encountered him and sought to kill him. So Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and touched it to his feet, and she said, you caused my bridegroom's bloodshed. So he released him. Then she said, a bridegroom's bloodshed was because of circumcision. Yahweh said to Aaron, go to meet Moses to the wilderness. So he went and encouraged him at the mountain of Yahweh, and he kissed him. Moses related to Aaron all the words of Yahweh, that he had dispatched him, and all the signs that he had commanded him. Moses and Aaron went and gathered all the elders of the children of Yasharah. Aaron spoke all the words that Yahweh had spoken to Moses, and he performed the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed, and they heard that Yahweh had remembered the children of Yasharah, and that he saw their affliction, and that they bowed their heads and prostrated themselves. Chapter 5. Afterwards Moses and Aaron came and said to Pharaoh, So said Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharal, send out my people that they may celebrate for me in the wilderness. Pharaoh replied, Who is Yahweh that I should heed his voice to send out Israel? Yasharal. I do not know Yahweh, nor will I send out Yasharal. So they said, The Elohim of the Hebrews happened upon us. Let us now go for a 3-day journey in the wilderness, and we shall bring offerings to Yahweh our Elohim, lest he strike us dead with the plague or the sword. The king of Mizraim said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you disturb the people from his work? Go to your own burdens. And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land are now numerous, and you would have them cease from their burdens. On that day, Pharaoh ordered the taskmasters over the people and his foremen, saying, You shall no longer give straw to the people to manufacture the bricks as yesterday and before yesterday. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. But the quota of bricks that they were making yesterday and before yesterday, you shall impose upon them. Do not reduce it, for they are lazy. Therefore they cry out, saying, Let us go and bring offerings to our Elohim. Let the work be heavier upon the men, and let them engage in it, and let them not pay attention to false words. The taskmasters of the people and his foremen went out and spoke to the people, saying, So said Pharaoh, I am not giving you straw. Go yourselves and take yourselves straw from whatever you find, for nothing will be reduced from your work. So the people spread out through the entire land of Egypt to gather gleanings for straw. The taskmasters pressed, saying, Complete your work, the daily matter each day, and when there was straw. The foremen of the children of Yasharal, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had appointed over them, were beaten, saying, Why did you not complete your requirement to make bricks, as yesterday and before yesterday, even yesterday and today? The foreman of the children of Yasharal came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, Why do you this to your servants? Straw is not given to your servants, yet they tell us, Make bricks. Behold, your servants are being beaten, and it is a sin for your people. He said, You are lazy, lazy. Therefore you say, Let us go and bring offerings to Yahweh. Now go to work. Straw will not be given to you, but you must provide the quota of bricks. The foreman of the children of Yasharal saw them in distress when they said, Do not reduce your bricks, the daily matter each day. They encountered Moses and Aaron standing opposite them as they left Pharaoh's presence. They said to them, May Yahweh look upon you and judge, for you have made our very scent abhorrent in the eyes of the Pharaoh and the eyes of his servants, to place a sword in their hands and to murder us. Moses returned to Yahweh and said, My Lord, why have you done evil to this people? Why have you sent me? From the time I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he did evil to this people, but you did not rescue your people. Chapter 6. Yahweh said to Moses, Now you will see what I shall do to Pharaoh. For through a strong hand he will send them out, and with a strong hand he will drive them from this land. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Yahweh. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, but with my name Yahweh I did not make myself known to them. Moreover, I established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojourning, in which they sojourn. Moreover, I have heard the groan of the children of Yasharal, whom Egypt enslaves, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the children of Yasharal, I am Yahweh, and I shall take you out. From under the burdens of Egypt I shall rescue you from their service. I shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. I shall take you to me for a people, and I shall be an Elohim to you. And you shall know that I am Yahweh your Elohim, who takes you out from under the burdens of Egypt. I shall bring you to the land about which I raised my hand, and to give it to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I shall give it to you as a heritage. I am Yahweh. So Moses spoke accordingly to the children of Yasharal, but they did not heed Moses, because of shortness of breath and hard work. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Come speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he send the children of Yasharal from his land. Moses spoke before Yahweh, saying, Behold, the children of Yasharal have not listened to me. So how will Pharaoh listen to me? And I have sealed lips. Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron and commanded them regarding the children of Yasharal and regarding Pharaoh, king of Egypt. to take the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These were the heads of their fathers' houses. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Yasharal, Hanok and Palu, Hezron and Carmi. What is that? Carmi. These were the families of Reuben. The sons of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jakin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These were the families of Simeon. These are the families of the son of Levi in order of their birth: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The years of Levi's life were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni, and Shimei, according to their families. The sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The years of Kohath's life were 133 years. The sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi. These were the Levites' families in order of their birth. Amram took his aunt Jochebed as a wife. What the hell? And she bore him Aaron and Moses. The years of Amram's life were 137 years. The sons of Ishar, Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uziel, Mishael, Elzaphan, and Sithri. Aaron took Elisheba, daughter of Aminadab, sister of Nahshon, as a wife, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The sons of Korah, Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These were the Korahite families. Eleazar, son of Aaron, took for himself the daughters of Putiel as a wife, and she bore of him Phinehas. These were the leaders of the fathers of the Levites according to their families. This was the Aaron and Moses to whom Yahweh said, "Take the children of Yasharal out of the land of Egypt according to their legions." They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to take the children of Yasharal out of Egypt. This was the Moses and Aaron. It was on that day when Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, to Moses in the land of Egypt, Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "I am Yahweh. Speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Everything that I speak to you." Moses said before Yahweh, "Behold, I have sealed lips, so how shall Pharaoh heed me?" Chapter 7. Shalom, Sarel. Yahweh said to Moses, "See, I have made you a master over Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your spokesman. You shall speak everything that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, that he should send the children of Yasharal from this land. But I shall harden Pharaoh's heart, and I shall multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not heed you, and I shall put my hand upon Egypt, and I shall take out my legions, my people, the children of Yasharal from the land of Egypt with great judgments. And Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch out my hand over Egypt, and I shall take the children of Yasharal out from among them." Yeah, if you want to come up and read, raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep going. Moses and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them, so they did. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Provide a wonder for yourselves,' you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and cast it down before Pharaoh. It will become a snake.'" Moses came with Aaron to Pharaoh, and they did so, as Yahweh had commanded. Aaron cast down his staff before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a snake. Pharaoh too summoned his wise men and sorcerers, and they too, the necromancers of Egypt, did so with their incantations. Each one cast down his staff, and it became snakes, and the staff of Aaron swallowed their staffs. The heart of Pharaoh was strong, and he did not heed them, as Yahweh had spoken. Yahweh said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He has refused to send the people. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Behold, he goes out to the water, and you shall stand opposite him at the river's bank. And the staff that was turned into a snake you shall take in your hand. You shall say to him, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Send out my people, that they may serve me in the wilderness. But behold, you have not heeded up till now. So says Yahweh. Through this shall you know that I am Yahweh. Behold, with the staff that is in my hand I shall strike the waters that are in the water, and they shall change the blood. The fish life that is in the river shall die, and the river shall become foul. Egypt will grow weary of trying to drink water from the river." Yahweh said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt. over their rivers, over their canals, over their reservoirs, and over all their gatherings of water. And they shall become blood, and there shall be blood throughout the land of Egypt, even in the wooden and stone vessels. Shalom, Guni. If you want to join reading, raise your hand. We are about to hit chapter 8. Moses and Aaron did so as Yahweh had commanded. He held the staff aloft and struck the water that was in the river in the presence of Pharaoh and in the presence of his servants, and all the water that was in the river changed to blood. The fish life that was in the river died, and the river became foul. Egypt could not drink water from the river, and the blood was throughout the land of Egypt. The necromancers of Egypt did the same by means of their incantations. So Pharaoh's heart was strong, and he did not heed them, as Yahweh had spoken. Pharaoh turned away and came to his palace. He did not take this to heart either. All the Egyptians dug round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink from the waters of the river. 7 days were completed after Yahweh struck the river. Yahweh said to Moses, "Come to Pharaoh and say to him, Thus said Yahweh, send out my people that they may serve me. But if you refuse to send out, behold, I will strike your entire boundary with frogs. The river shall swarm with frogs, and they shall ascend and come into your palace and your bedroom and your bed, and into the house of your servants and of your people, and into your ovens and into your kneading bowls, and into you and your people, and all your servants will the frogs ascend." Chapter 8. Yahweh said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals, and over the reservoirs, and raise up the frogs over the land of Egypt." Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and with the frog infestation ascended and covered the land of Egypt. The necromancers did the same through their incantations, and they brought up the frogs upon the land of Egypt. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Entreat Yahweh that he remove the frogs from me and my people, and I shall send out the people that they may bring offerings to Yahweh." Moses said to Pharaoh, "Glorify yourself over me, for when should I entreat for you, for your servants, and for your people, to excise the frogs from you and from your houses? Only in the river shall they remain." And he said, "For tomorrow." He said, "As you say, so that you will know that there is none like Yahweh our Elohim. The frogs will depart from you and your houses, and from your servants and your people. Only in the river shall they remain." Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh's presence. Moses cried out to Yahweh concerning the frogs that he had inflicted upon Pharaoh. Yahweh carried out the word of Moses, and the frogs died from the houses, from the courtyards, and from the fields. They piled them up in heaps and heaps, and the land stank. Pharaoh saw that there had been a relief and kept making his heart stubborn. He did not heed them, as Yahweh had spoken. Yahweh said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, stretch out your staff and smite the dust of the land. It shall become lice throughout the land of Egypt." So they did. Aaron stretched out his hand with his staff and struck the dust of the land, and the lice infestation was on man and beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout the land of Egypt. The sorcerers did the same with their incantations to draw forth the lice, but they could not. And the lice infestation was on man and beast. The sorcerer said to Pharaoh, "It is a finger of Yahweh." But Pharaoh's heart was strong, and he did not heed them, as Yahweh had spoken. Yahweh said to Moses, "Arise early in the morning, and station yourself before Pharaoh. Behold, he goes out to the water, and you shall say to him, So thus saith Yahweh, send out my people that they may serve me. For if you do not send out my people, behold, I shall incite against you, your servants, your people, and your houses, the swarm of wild beasts, and the houses of Egypt shall be filled with the swarm, and even the ground upon which they are. And on that day I shall set apart the land of Goshen upon which my people stands, that there shall be no swarm there, so that you will know that I am Yahweh in the midst of your land. I shall make a distinction between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign will come about." Yahweh did so, and a severe swarm of wild beasts came to the house of Pharaoh, and the house of his servants, and throughout the land of Egypt the land was being ruined because of the swarm. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Go bring offerings to your Elohim in the land." Moses said, It is not proper to do so, for we will offer the deity of Egypt to Yahweh our Elohim. Behold, if we were to slaughter the deity of Egypt in their sight, will they not stone us? We will go on a 3-day journey in the wilderness and bring offerings to Yahweh our Elohim, and he will tell us. Pharaoh said, I will send you, and you shall bring offerings to Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness. Only do not go far off, entreat for me. Moses said, Behold, I leave you, and I shall entreat Yahweh, and the swarm will depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. Only let Pharaoh not continue to mock by not sending out the people to bring offerings to Yahweh. Moses left Pharaoh's presence and entreated Yahweh. Yahweh did in accordance with Moses' word, and he removed the swarm of wild beasts from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh made his heart stubborn even this time, and he did not send out the people. Yahweh said to Moses, Come to Pharaoh and speak to him. Thus say Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, Send out my people that they may serve me. For if you refuse to send out and you continue to grip them, behold, the hand of Yahweh is on your livestock that are in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camel, on the cattle, and on the flock, a very severe epidemic. Yahweh shall distinguish between the livestock of Yasharal and the livestock of Egypt, and not a thing that belongs to the children of Yasharal will die. Yahweh has set in an appointed time, saying, Tomorrow Yahweh shall carry out this word in the land. Yahweh carried out this word the next day, and all the livestock of Egypt died, and of the livestock of the children of Yasharal not one died. Pharaoh sent, and behold, of the livestock of Yasharal not even one had died. Yet Pharaoh's heart became stubborn, and he did not send out the people. Stiff-necked. Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, Take for yourself handfuls of furnace soot, and let Moses hurl it heavenward before Pharaoh's eyes. It will become dust over the entire land of Egypt, and it will become boils erupting into blisters on man and beast throughout the land of Egypt. They took soot of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses threw it heavenward, and it became boils and blisters, erupting on man and beast. It sounded like he gave everybody down STD in them. The necromancers could not stand before Moses because of the bulls, because the bulls were on the necromancers and on all of Egypt. Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not heed them, as Yahweh had spoken to Moses. Yahweh spoke to Moses, Arise early in the morning, and station yourself before Pharaoh. Say to him, Thus saith Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, Send out my people that they may serve me. For this time I shall send all my plagues against your heart, and upon your servants and your people, so that you shall know that there is none like me in all the world. For now I could have sent my hand and stricken you and your people with the pestilence, and you would have been obliterated from the earth. However, for this have I let you endure, in order to show you my strength, and so that my name may be declared throughout the world. You still tread upon my people, not to send them out. Behold, at this time tomorrow I shall I shall rain a very heavy hail, such as there has never been in Egypt, from the day it was founded until now. And now send, gather in your livestock and everything you have in the field, all the people and animals that are found in the field and that are not gathered into the house, the hail shall descend upon them, and they shall die. Whoever among the servants of Pharaoh feared the word of Yahweh. Hold up. Whoever among the servants of Pharaoh feared the word of Yahweh chased his servants and his livestock to the houses. And whoever did not take the word of Yahweh to heart, he left his servants and livestock in the field. Yahweh said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the heaven, and there will be hail in the entire land of Egypt, on man and on beast, and on all the grass of the field in the land of Egypt. Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and fire went earthward, and Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Egypt. There was hail and fire flaming amid the hail, very heavy, such as had never been in the entire land of Egypt, from the time it became a nation. The hail struck in the entire land of Egypt, everything that was in the field, from man to beast. All the grass of the field the hail struck, and every tree of the field it smashed. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Yasharal were, there was no hail. Pharaoh sent and summoned Moses and Aaron and said to them, "This time I have sinned. Yahweh is the righteous one, and I and my people are the wicked ones. Entreat Yahweh. There has been an overabundance of godly thunder and hail. I shall send you out, and you shall not continue to remain." Moses said to him, "When I leave the city, I shall spread my hands to Yahweh. The thunder will cease, and the hail will no longer be, so that you shall know that the earth is Yahweh's. And as for you and your servants, I know that you are not yet afraid of Yahweh, Elohim." The flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was ripe, and the flax was in its stalk. And the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they ripened later. Moses went out from Pharaoh, from the city, and he stretched out his hands to Yahweh. The thunder and hail ceased, and rain did not reach the earth. Pharaoh saw that rain, the hail, and the thunder ceased, and he continued to sin, and he made his heart stubborn, he and his servants. Pharaoh's heart became strong, and he did not send out the children of Yasharal, as Yahweh had spoken through Moses. Chapter 10. Yahweh said to Moses, "Come to Pharaoh, for I have made his heart and the heart of his servants stubborn, so that I can put these signs of mine in his midst, and so that you may relate in the ears of your son and your son's son that I made a mockery of Egypt, and my signs that I placed upon them, that you may know that I am Yahweh." Moses and Aaron came to Pharaoh and said to him, Thus said Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, until when will you refuse to be humbled before me? Send out my people that they may serve me. For if you refuse to send forth my people, behold, tomorrow I shall bring a locust swarm into your border. I will cover the surface of the earth so that one will not be able to see the earth, and it will consume the remaining residue that was left to you by the hail, and it will consume all the trees that grow for you from the field. They will fill your houses, the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all Egypt, such as your fathers and your grandfathers had not seen from the day they came onto earth until this day. And he turned and left Pharaoh's presence. Pharaoh's servant said to him, "How long will this be a snare for us? Send out the men that they may serve Yahweh, their Elohim. Do you not yet know that Egypt is lost?" So Moses and Aaron were returned to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go and serve Yahweh, your Elohim." "Which ones are going?" Moses said, "With our youngsters and with our elders shall we go. With our sons and with our daughters, with our flock and with our cattle shall we go, because it is a festival of Yahweh for us." He said to them, "So be Yahweh with you, as I will send you forth with your children. Look, the evil intent is opposite your faces. Not so. Let the men go now. Serve Yahweh, for that is what you seek." And he drove them out from Pharaoh's presence. Yahweh said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locust swarm, and it will ascend upon the land of Egypt and eat all the grass of the land, everything that the hail had left." Moses stretched his staff over the land of Egypt, and Yahweh guided an east wind through the land all that day and all that night. It became morning, morning, and the east wind carried the locust swarm. The locust swarm ascended over the entire land of Egypt, and it rested in the entire border of Egypt very severely. Before it there was never a locust swarm like it, and after it there will not be its equal. It covered the surface of the entire land, and the land was darkened. It ate all the grass of the land and all the fruit of the tree that the hail left over. No greenery remained on the trees or the grass of the field in the entire land of Egypt. Pharaoh hastened to summon Moses and Aaron, and he said, "I have sinned to Yahweh your Elohim and to you. And now please forgive my sin just this time, and entreat Yahweh your Elohim that he remove from me only this death." He left Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. Yahweh turned back a very great powerful west wind, and it carried the locust swarm and hurried it toward the Sea of Reeds. Not a single locust remained within the entire border of Egypt. But Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not send out the children of Yasharal. Yahweh said to Moses, "Stretch forth your hand toward the heavens, and there shall be darkness upon the land of Egypt, and the darkness will be tangible." Moses stretched forth his hand toward the heavens, and there was a thick darkness throughout the land of Egypt for a 3-day period. No man could see his brother, nor could anyone rise from his place for a 3-day period. But for all the children of Yasharal, there was a light in their dwellings. Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, Go, serve Yahweh. Only your flock and cattle shall remain behind. Even your children may go with you. Moses said, Even you will place in our hands feast offerings and burnt offerings, and we shall offer them to Yahweh our Elohim. And our livestock as well will go with us. Not a hoof will be left, for from it shall we take to serve Yahweh our Elohim. And we will not know what we are to serve Yahweh until our arrival there. Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not wish to send them out. Pharaoh said to him, Go from me, beware, do not see my face any more, for on the day you see my face, you shall die. Moses said, You have spoken correctly. I shall never see your face again. Yahweh said to Moses, One more plague shall I bring upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. After that he shall send you forth from here. When he sends forth, it shall be complete. He shall drive you out of here. Please speak in the ears of the people. Let each man request of his fellow and each woman in it from her fellow silver vessels and gold vessels. Yahweh granted the people favor in the eyes of Egypt. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the eyes of the servants of Pharaoh and in the eyes of the people. Moses said, Thus saith Yahweh, At about midnight I shall go out in the midst of Egypt. Every firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne to the firstborn of the maidservant who is behind the millstone, and all the firstborn of beasts. There shall be a great outcry in the entire land of Egypt, such as there has never been and such as shall never be again. But against all the children of Yasharal, no dog shall wet his tongue, against neither man nor beast, so that you shall know that Yahweh will have differentiated between Egypt and Yasharal. Then all the servants of yours will come down to me and bow to me, saying, Leave, you and the entire people that follows you. After that, I will leave. And he left Pharaoh's presence in burning anger. Yahweh said to Moses, Pharaoh will not heed you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. So Moses and Aaron performed all these wonders before Pharaoh. But Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not send out the children of Yasharal from his land. Chapter 12. Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be for you the beginning of months. It shall be for you the first of the months of the year. Speak to the entire assembly of Yasharal, saying, On the 10th of this month they shall take for themselves each man a lamb or kid for each father's house, a lamb or kid for the household. But if the household will be too small for a lamb or kid, then he and his neighbor who is near his house shall take according to the number of the people. Everyone according to what he eats shall be counted for the lamb or kid. An unblemished lamb or kid, a male, within his first year shall be for you. From the sheep or goats shall you take it. It shall be yours for examination until the 14th day of this month. The entire congregation of the assembly of Yasharal shall slaughter it in the afternoon. They shall take some of the blood and place it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses in which they will eat it. They shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted over the fire, and masos, with bitter herbs shall they eat it. You shall not eat it partially roasted or cooked in water, only roasted over fire, its heads, its legs with its innards. You shall not leave any of it until morning. Any of it that is left until morning you shall burn in the fire. So shall you eat it, your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is a Pesach offering to Yahweh. I shall go through the land of Egypt on this night. I shall strike every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from man to beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I shall mete out punishment. I am Yahweh. The blood shall be a sign for you upon the houses where you are. When I shall see the blood, and I shall pass over you, there shall not be a plague of destruction upon you when I strike in the land of Egypt. This day shall become a remembrance for you, and you shall celebrate it as a festival for Yahweh. For your generations, as an eternal decree, shall you celebrate it. For a 7-day period you shall eat masos, but on the previous day you shall nullify the leaven from your homes. For anyone who eats leavened food, that soul shall be cut off from Yasharal, from the first day to the 7th day. On the first day shall be a holy convocation, and on the seventh day shall be a holy convocation for you. No work may be done on them, except for what must be eaten for any person. Only that may be done for you. You shall safeguard the Masos, for on this very day I will have taken your allegiance out of the land of Egypt. You shall observe this day for your generations as an eternal decree. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening shall you eat Masos, until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days leaven may not be found in your houses. For anyone who eats leavening, that soul shall be cut off from the assembly of Yasharal, whether a convert or a native of the land. You shall not eat any leavening in all your dwellings, that shall you eat Masos. Moses called to all the elders of Yasharal and said to them, draw forth or buy for yourselves one of the flock for your families, and slaughter the Pesach offering. You shall take a bundle of hyssop and dip it into the blood that is in the basin, and touch the lintel and the two doorposts with some of the blood that is in the basin. And as for you, no man shall leave the entrance of his house until morning. Yahweh will pass through to smite Egypt, and he will see the blood that is on the lintel and the two doorposts. And Yahweh will pass over the entrance, and he will not permit the destroyer to enter your homes to smite. You shall observe this matter as a decree for yourself and for your children forever. It shall be that when you come to the land that Yahweh will give you, as he has spoken, you shall observe this service. And it shall be that when your children say to you, what is this service to you? You shall say, it is a Pesach feast offering to Yahweh, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharal in Egypt when he smote the Egyptians. But he saved our households. And the people bowed their heads and prostrated themselves. The children of Yasharal went and did as Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron. So they do. It was at midnight that Yahweh smote every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh sitting on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and every firstborn animal. Pharaoh rose up at midnight, he and all his servants in all Egypt, and there was a great outcry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was no corpse. He called to Moses and Aaron that night and said, rise up, go out from among my people, even you, even the children of Yasharal. Go and serve Yahweh as you have spoken. Take even your sheep and even your cattle, as you have spoken, and go, and bless me as well. Egypt imposed itself strongly upon the people to hasten to send them out of the land, for they said, we are all dying. The people picked up its dough before it could become leaven. Their leftovers bound up in their garments upon their shoulders. The children of Yasharal carried out the word of Moses. They requested from the Egyptians silver vessels, gold vessels, and garments. Yahweh gave the people favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they granted their requests. So they emptied Egypt. The children of Yasharal journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, aside from children. Also a mixed multitude went up with them, and flock and cattle, very much livestock. They baked the dough that was took out from Egypt into unleavened cakes, for they could not be leavened, for they were driven from Egypt, for they could not delay, nor had they made provision for themselves. The habitation of the children of Yasharal during which they dwelled in Egypt was 430 years. It was all that it was at the end of 430 years, and it was on that very day that all the legions of Yahweh left the land of Egypt. This was the night for Yahweh, a protection for all the children of Yasharal for their generations. Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, this is the decree of the Pesach offering. No alienated person may eat from it. Every slave of a man who was bought for money, you shall circumcise him, and then he may eat of it. A sojourner and a hired laborer may not eat it. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not remove any of the meat from the house to the outside, and you shall not break a bone in it. The entire assembly of Yasharal shall perform it. When a proselyte sojourns among you, he shall make the Pesach offering for Yahweh. Each of his males shall be circumcised, and then he may draw near to perform it, and he shall be like the native of the land. No uncircumcised male may eat of it. One law shall there be for the native and the proselyte who lives among you. all the children of Yasharal did as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they do. It happened on that very day. Yahweh took the children of Yasharal out of the land of Egypt in their legions. Chapter 13. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Sanctify me every firstborn. The first issue of every womb among the children of Yasharal, of man and beast, is mine. Moses said to the people, Remember this day on which you departed from Egypt, from the house of bondage. With a strong hand Yahweh removed you from here, and therefore chamets may not be eaten. Today you are leaving, in the month of springtime, and it shall come to pass when Yahweh shall bring you to the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your forefathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey. You shall perform this service in this month. For a 7-day period shall you eat matzos, and on the 7th day there shall be a festival to Yahweh. Matzos shall be eaten throughout the 7-day period. No chamets may be seen in your possession, nor may leaven be seen in your possession in all your borders. And you shall tell your son on that day, saying, It is because of this that Yahweh acted on my behalf when I left Egypt. And it shall be for you a sign on your arm and a reminder between your eyes, so that Yahweh's Torah may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Yahweh removed you from Egypt. You shall observe this decree at its designated time from year to year. It shall come to pass when Yahweh will bring you to the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your forefathers, and he will have given to you. Then you shall set apart every first issue of the womb to Yahweh, and every first issue that is dropped by livestock that belongs to you, the males are Yahweh's. Every first issue donkey you shall redeem with a lamb or kid. If you do not redeem it, you shall axe the back of his neck, and you shall redeem every human firstborn among your sons. And it shall be when your son will ask you at some future time, What is this? You shall say to him, With a strong hand Yahweh removed us from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it happened when Pharaoh stubbornly refused to send us out, that Yahweh killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of man to the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I offer to Yahweh all male first issue of the womb, and I shall redeem all the firstborn of my sons. And it shall be a sign upon your arm, and an ornament between your eyes. For with a strong hand Yahweh removed us from Egypt. It happened when Pharaoh sent out the people that Yahweh did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, because it was near. For Yahweh said, Perhaps the people will reconsider when they see a war, and they will return to Egypt. So Yahweh turned the people toward the way of the wilderness, to the sea of reeds. The children of Yasharal were armed when they went up from the land of Egypt. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had firmly adjured the children of Yasharal, saying, Yahweh will surely remember you, and you shall bring up my bones from here with you. They sojourned from Succoth, and encamped in Etham at the edge of the wilderness. Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them on the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel day and night. He did not remove the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night from before the people. 14. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, and let them turn back and encamp before Pahaharoth, between Migdal and the sea, before Baal Zephon, and you shall encamp opposite it, by the sea. Pharaoh will say of the children of Yasharal, They are imprisoned in the land. The wilderness has locked them in. I shall strengthen the heart of Pharaoh, and he will pursue them, and I will be glorified through Pharaoh and his entire army. And Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh. And so they did. It was told to the king of Egypt that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants became transformed regarding the people. And they said, What is this that we have done, that we have sent away Yasharal from serving us? He harnessed his chariot and attracted his people with him. He took 600 elite chariots and all the chariots of Egypt with his officers and on them all. Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the children of Yasharal, and the children of Yasharal were going out with an upraised arm. Egypt pursued them and overtook them, and camped by the sea all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and army by Pihahiroth before Baal Zephon. Pharaoh approached. The children of Yasharal raised their eyes, and behold, Egypt was journeying after them, and they were very frightened. The children of Yasharal cried out to Yahweh. They said to Moses, Go. They said to Moses, were there no graves in Egypt that you took us to die in the wilderness? What is this that you have done to us to take us out of Egypt? Is this not the statement that we made to you in Egypt, saying, let us be and we will serve Egypt? For it is better that we should serve Egypt than that we should die in the wilderness. Moses said to the people, do not fear. Stand fast and see the salvation of Yahweh that he will perform for you today. For as you have seen Egypt today, you shall not see them ever again. Yahweh shall make war for you, and you shall remain silent. Yahweh said to Moses, why do you cry out to me? Speak to the children of Yasharal, and let them journey forth. And you lift up your staff and stretch out your arm over the sea and split it. And the children of Yasharal shall come into the midst of the sea on dry land. And I, behold, I shall strengthen the heart of Egypt, and they will come after them. And I will be glorified through Pharaoh and through his entire army, through his chariots and through his horsemen. Egypt will know that I am Yahweh when I am glorified through Pharaoh, his chariots and his horsemen. The angel of Yahweh who had been going in front of the camp of Yasharal moved and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud moved from in front of them and went behind them. It became the camp of Egypt. It came between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Yasharal, and there were cloud and darkness, while it illuminated the night, and one did not draw near the other all the night. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh moved the sea with a strong east wind all the night, and he turned the sea to damp land, and the water split. The children of Yasharal came within the sea on dry land, and the water was a wall for them on their right and on their left. Egypt pursued and came after them, every horse of Pharaoh, his chariots and his horsemen, into the midst of the sea. It happened at the morning watch that Yahweh looked down at the camp of Egypt with a pillar of fire and a cloud, and he confounded the camp of Egypt. He removed the wheels of their chariots and caused them to drive with difficulty. Egypt said, I shall flee before Yasharal, for Yahweh is waging war for them against Egypt. Yahweh said to Moses, stretch out your hand over the sea, and the water will go back upon Egypt, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and toward morning the water went back to its power, as the Egyptians were fleeing toward it. And Yahweh turned Egypt in the midst of the sea. The water came back and covered the chariots and the horsemen of the entire army of Pharaoh, who were coming behind them in the sea. There remained not one of them. The children of Yasharal went on dry land in the midst of the sea. The water was a wall for them, on their right and on their left. On that day Yahweh saved Yasharal from the hand of Egypt. And Yasharal saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Yasharal saw the great hand that Yahweh inflicted upon Egypt. And the people revered Yahweh, and they had faith in Yahweh and in Moses, his servant. Chapter 15. Then Moses and the children of Yasharal chose to sing the song to Yahweh, and they said the following. Come here. I shall sing to Yahweh, for he is exalted above the arrogant, having hurled horse with its rider into the sea. The might and the vengeance of Yahweh was salvation for me. This is my Elohim, and I will build him a sanctuary, the Elohim of my father, and I will exalt him. Yahweh is master of war. His name is Yahweh. Pharaoh's chariots and army he threw into the sea, and the pick of his officers were mired in the sea of reeds. Deep waters covered them. They descended in the depths like stone. Your right hand, Yahweh, is glorified with strength. Your right hand, Yahweh, smashes the enemy. In your abundant grandeur, you shatter your opponents. You send forth your wrath, and it consumes them like straw. At a blast from your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. Straight as a wall stood the running water. The deep waters congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy declared, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide plunder, I will satisfy my lust with them, I will unsheathe my sword, my hand will impoverish them. You blew with your wind, the sea enshrouded them, the mighty sank like lead in the water. Who is like you among the heavenly powers, Yahweh? Who is like you, mighty in holiness, too awesome for praise, doer of wonders? You, you stretched out your right hand, and earth swallowed them. With your kindness you guided the people that you redeemed. You led with your might to your holy abode. Peoples heard, you were agitated. Terror gripped the dwellers of Philistia. Then the chieftains of Edom were confounded. Trembling gripped the powers of Moab. All the dwellers of Canaan dissolved. May fear and terror befall them. At the greatness of your arm may they be still as stone, until your people passes through, Yahweh, until this people you have acquired passes through. You will bring them and implant them on the mount of your heritage, the foundation of your dwelling place that you, Yahweh, have made, the sanctuary, my Lord, my Adonai, that your hands established. Yahweh shall reign for all eternity. When Pharaoh's cavalry came with his chariots and horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh turned back the waters of the sea upon them, the children of Yasharal walked on a dry land amid the sea. Miriam, the prophetess, sister of Aaron, took the drum in her hand, and all the women went forth after her with drums and with dances. Miriam spoke up to them, Sing to Yahweh, for he is exalted above the arrogant, having hurled horse with his rider into the sea. Moses called Yasharal to journey from the sea of reeds, and they went out to the wilderness of Shur. They went out for a 3-day period in the wilderness, but they did not find water. They came to Marah, but they could not drink the waters of Marah because they were bitter. Therefore they named it Marah. The people complained against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? What was I at? He cried out to Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree. He threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. There he established for the nation a decree and an ordinance, and there he tested it. He said, If you hearken diligently to the voice of Yahweh, your Elohim, and do what is just in his eyes, give ear to his commandments, and observe all his decrees, then any of the diseases that I placed in Egypt I will not bring upon you, for I am Yahweh, your healer. They arrived at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 date palms. They encamped there by the water. Chapter 16. They journeyed from Elim, and the entire assembly of the children of Yasharal arrived at the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 7th month from their departure of the land of Egypt. Their entire assembly of the children of Yasharal complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The children of Yasharal said to them, If only we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, as we sat by the pot of meat when we ate bread to satiety, for you have taken us to this wilderness to kill the entire congregation by famine. Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I shall rain down for you food from heaven. Let the people go out and pick each day's portion on this day, so that I can test them whether they will follow my teaching or not. And it shall be that on the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring, it will be double what they pick every day. Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Yasharal, In the evening you shall know that Yahweh took you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of Yahweh, that he has heard your complaints against Yahweh. For what are we that you should incite complaints against us? And Moses said, When in the evening Yahweh gives you meat to eat, and bread to satiety in the morning. As Yahweh hears your complaints that you complain against him, for what are we? Not against us are your complaints, but against Yahweh. Moses said to Aaron, say to the entire assembly of the Yasharal, approach the presence of Yahweh, for he has heard your complaints. When Aaron spoke to the entire assembly of the children of Yasharal, they turned to the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the glory of Yahweh appeared in the cloud. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, I have heard the complaints of the children of Yasharal. Speak to them, saying, in the afternoon shall you eat meat, and in the morning you shall be sated with bread, and you shall know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. It was toward evening that the quail ascended and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. The layer of dew ascended, and behold, upon the surface of the wilderness was something thin, exposed, thin as frost on the earth. The children of Yasharal saw and said to one another, it is food, for they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, this is the food that Yahweh has given you for eating. This is the thing that Yahweh has commanded. Gather from it every man according to what he eats, an omer per person, according to the number of your people. Everyone according to whoever is in his tent shall you take. The children of Yasharal did so, and they gathered, whoever took more and whoever took less. They measured in an omer, and whoever took more had nothing extra, and whoever took less was not lacking. Everyone according to what he eats had they gathered. Moses said to them, no man may leave over from it until morning. But they did not obey Moses, and the people left over from it until morning, and it became infested with worms, and it stank. And Moses became angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, every man according to what he eats. And when the sun grew hot, it melted. It happened on the sixth day that they gathered a double portion of food, 2 omers for each. And all the princes of the assembly came and told Moses. He said to them, this is what Yahweh has spoken. Tomorrow is a rest day, a holy Shabbat to Yahweh. Bake what you wish to bake, and cook what you wish to cook, and whatever is left over, put away for yourselves as a safekeeping until the morning. They put it away until morning, as Moses had commanded. It did not stink, and there was no infestation in it. Moses said, eat it today, for today is Shabbat for Yahweh. Today you shall not find it in the field. 6 days shall you gather it, but the 7th day it is a Shabbat. On it there will be none. It happened on the 7th day that some of the people went out to gather, and they did not find. Yahweh said to Moses, how long will you refuse to observe my commandments and my teachings? See that Yahweh has given you the Shabbat. That is why he gives you on the 6th day a 2-day portion of bread. Let every man remain in his place. Let no man leave his place on the 7th day. The people rested on the 7th day. The house of Yasharal called it manna. It was like coriander seed. It was white, and it tasted like a cake fried in honey. Moses said, this is the thing that Yahweh has commanded. A full omer of it shall be a safekeeping for your generations, so that they will see the food with which I fed you in the wilderness when I took you out of Egypt. Moses said to Aaron, take 1 jar and put a full omer of manna into it, and place it before Yahweh for a safekeeping for your generations. As Yahweh commanded Moses, Aaron placed it before the ark of testimony for a safekeeping. The children of Yasharal ate the manna for 40 years, until their arrival in an inhabited land. They ate the manna until their arrival at the border of the land of Canaan. The omer is 1/10 of an ephah. 17. The entire assembly of the children of Yasharal journeyed from the wilderness of Sin to their journeys, according to the word of Yahweh. They encamped in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. The people contended with Moses, and they said, give us water that we may drink. Moses said to them, why do you contend with me? Why do you test Yahweh? The people thirsted there for water, and the people complained against Moses and said, why is this that you have brought us from Egypt to kill me and my children and my livestock through thirst? Moses cried out to Yahweh, saying, what shall I do for this people? A bit more, and they will stone me. Yahweh said to Moses, pass before the people and take with you some of the elders of Yasharal. And in your hand take your staff with which you struck the river, and go. Behold, I shall stand before you by the rock in Horeb. You shall strike the rock, and water will come forth from it, and the people will drink. Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Yasharal. He called the place Massa Umariba, because of the contention of the children of Yasharal, and because their test of Yahweh, saying, Is Yahweh among us or not? Amalek came and battled Yasharal and Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, Choose people for us and go do battle with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of Yahweh in my hand. Joshua did as Moses said to him, to do battle with Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur ascended to the top of the hill. It happened that when Moses raised his hand, Yasharal was stronger, and when he lowered his hand, Amalek was stronger. Moses' hands grew heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on this side and one on that side, and he remained with his hands in faithful prayer until sunset. Joshua weakened Amalek and his people with the sword's blade. Yahweh said to Moses, Write this as a remembrance in the book, and recite it in the ears of Joshua, that I shall surely erase the memory of Amalek from under the heavens. Moses built an altar and called his name, Yahweh is my miracle. And he said, For the hand is on the throne of Elohim, Yahweh maintains a war against Amalek from generation to generation. Chapter 18. We got 3 more chapters. Jethro, the minister of Midian, the father-in-law of Moses, heard everything that Yahweh did to Moses and to Israel, Yasharal, his people, that Yahweh had taken Yasharal out of Egypt. Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, took Zipporah, the wife of Moses, after she had been sent away, and her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom, for he had said, I was a sojourner in a strange land, and the name of the other was Eliezer. For the Elohim of my father came to my aid, and he saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, came to Moses with his sons and his wife to the wilderness where they was encamped by the mountain of Elohim, Yahweh. He said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, have come to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he prostrated himself and kissed him, and each inquired about each other's well-being. Then they came to the tent. Moses told his father-in-law everything that Yahweh had done to Pharaoh in Egypt for Yasharal's sake. All the travail that had befallen them ran on the way, and that Yahweh had rescued them. Jethro rejoiced over all the good that Yahweh had done for Yasharal, that he had rescued it from the land of Egypt. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he prostrated himself and kissed him, and each inquired about each other's well-being. Then they came to the tent. Moses told his father-in-law everything that Yahweh had done to Pharaoh in Egypt for Yasharal's sake. All the travail that had befallen them ran on the way, and that Yahweh had rescued them. Jethro rejoiced over all the good that Yahweh had done for Yasharal, that he had rescued it from the land of Egypt. Jethro said, Blessed is Yahweh, who had rescued you from the hand of Egypt, from the hand of Pharaoh, who has rescued the people from under the hand of Egypt. Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all the gods, for in the very matter in which the Egyptians had conspired against them, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, took a burnt offering and feast offerings for Yahweh. And Moses and Aaron and all the elders of Yasharal came to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moses before Yahweh. It was on the next day that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. The father-in-law of Moses saw everything that he was doing to the people, and he said, This thing that you do to the people, why do you sit alone with all the people standing by you from morning to evening? Moses said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to seek Yahweh. When they have a matter, one comes to me, and I judge between a man and his fellow. and I make known the decrees of Yahweh and his teachings. The father-in-law of Moses said to him, the thing that you do is not good. You will surely become worn out, you as well as this people that is with you. For this matter is too hard for you. You will not be able to do it alone. Now heed my voice. I shall advise you, and may Yahweh be with you. You be a representative to Yahweh, and you convey the matters to Yahweh. You shall caution them regarding the decrees and the teachings, and you shall make known to them the path in which they should go and the deeds that they shall do. And you shall discern from among the entire people, men of accomplishment, God, Elohim-fearing people, men of truth, people who despise money. And it shall be that you shall appoint them leaders of thousands, leaders of hundreds, leaders of fifties, and leaders of tens. That's where the camps get that from. They shall judge the people at all times, and they shall bring every major matter to you, and every minor matter they shall judge, and it will be ease for you, and they shall bear with you. If you do this thing, and Yahweh shall command you, then you will be able to endure, and this entire people as well shall arrive at its destination in peace. Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law, and did everything that he had said. Moses chose men of accomplishment from among all Yasharal, and appointed them heads of the people, leaders of thousands, leaders of hundreds, leaders of fifties, leaders of tens. And they judged the people at all times. The difficult thing they would bring to Moses, and the minor thing themselves would judge. Moses sent off his father-in-law, and they went to his land. In the 3rd month from the exodus of the children of Yasharal from Egypt, on this day, they arrived at the wilderness of Sinai. They journeyed from Rephidim and arrived at the wilderness of Sinai, and encamped in the wilderness, and Yasharal encamped there, opposite the mountain. Moses ascended to Elohim, and Yahweh called to him from the mountain, saying, So shall you say to the house of Jacob, and relate to the children of Yasharal, you have seen what I did to Egypt, and that I have borne on you the wings of eagles, and brought you to me. And now, if you hearken well to my voice, and observe my covenant, then you shall be to me the most beloved treasure of all people, for mine is the entire world. You shall be to me a kingdom of ministers and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Yasharal. Moses came and summoned the elders of the people, and put before them all the words that Yahweh had commanded them. The people responded together and said, Everything that Yahweh has spoken we shall do. Moses brought back the words of the people to Yahweh. Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I come to you in the thickness of the cloud, so that the people will hear as I speak to you, and they will also believe in you forever. Moses related the words of the people to Yahweh. Yahweh said to Moses, Go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and they shall wash their clothing. Let them be prepared for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day Yahweh shall descend in the sight of the entire people on Mount Sinai. You shall set boundaries for the people round about, saying, Beware of ascending the mountain or touching its edge. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely die. A hand shall not touch it, for he shall surely be stoned or thrown down. Whether animal or person, he shall not live. Upon an extended blast of the shofar, they may ascend the mount. Moses descended from the mountain to the people. He sanctified the people, and they washed their clothing. He said to the people, Be prepared after a 3-day period. Do not draw near a woman. On the 3rd day, when it was morning, there was a thunder and lightning, and a heavy cloud on the mountain, and the sound of the shofar was very powerful, and the entire people that was in the camp shuddered. Moses brought the people forth from the camp toward Yahweh, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain. All of Mount Sinai was smoking, because Yahweh had descended upon it in fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of the furnace, and the entire mountain shuddered exceedingly. The sound of the shofar grew continually much stronger. Moses would speak, and Yahweh would respond to him with a voice. Yahweh descended upon Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain. Yahweh summoned Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses ascended. Yahweh said to Moses, Descend, warn the people, lest they break through to Yahweh to see, and a multitude of them will fall. Even the Kohanim who approach Yahweh should be prepared. lest Yahweh burst forth against them. Moses said to Yahweh, the people cannot ascend Mount Sinai, for you have warned the same. Bound the mountain and sanctify it. Yahweh said to him, go, descend, then you shall ascend, and Aaron with you, but the Kohanim and the people, they shall not break through to ascend to Yahweh, lest he burst forth against them. Moses descended to the people and said it to them. Are we on the last chapter, y'all? Chapter 20. Yahweh spoke all these statements, saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who has taken you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. You shall not recognize the gods of others in my presence. You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness of that which is in the heaven above, or on the earth below, or on the water beneath the earth. You shall not prostrate yourself to them, nor worship them. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim, a jealous Yahweh, who visits the sins of fathers upon children, to the third and fourth generations, for my enemies. But who shows kindness for thousands of generations to those who love me and observe my commandments? You shall not take the name of Yahweh, your Elohim, in vain, for Yahweh will not absolve anyone who takes his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day to sanctify. 6 days shall you work and accomplish all your work, but the seventh day is Shabbat to Yahweh, your Elohim. You shall not do any work, you, your son, your daughter, your slave, your maidservant, your animal, and your convert within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and he rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified the Shabbat day and sanctified it. Honor your father and mother, so that your days will be lengthened upon the land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your fellow, you shall not covet your father's house, you shall not covet your fellow's wife, his maidservant, manservant, his ox, his donkey, nor anything that belongs to your fellow. The entire people saw the thunder and the flames, the sound of the shofar and the smoking mountain. The people saw and trembled and stood from afar. They said to Moses, you speak to us and we shall hear. Let Yahweh not speak to us, lest we die. Moshe said to the people, do not fear, for in order to elevate you, Yahweh has come, so that all of him shall be upon your faces, so that you shall not sin. The people stood from afar, and Moshe approached the thick cloud where Yahweh was. Yahweh said to Moses, so shall you say to the children of Yasharal, you have seen that I have spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make images of what is with what is with me. Gods of silver and gods of gold shall you not make for yourselves. An altar of earth shall you make for me, and you shall slaughter near it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your flock and your herd. Wherever I permit my name to be mentioned, I shall come to you and bless you. And when you make for me an altar of stones, do not build them hewn, for you will have raised your sword over it and desecrated it. You shall not ascend my altar on steps, so that your nakedness will not be uncovered upon it. Right. That was 20. We're gonna do the other half tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. Maybe if I can do it in earlier, I'll do that, but probably around the same time tomorrow night. Trying to get more people in here to read, man. Been reading so damn much. My throat is, I don't know. But yeah, yo, we're gonna continue this. All praise to the Most High. Bless y'all, man. Tori, you was late again, bro. Oh, man. But yeah, man, I'm sure you read the whole thing already, but yeah, that thing's straight. Somebody told me to I think it was slow mo. He said the Quran Tanakh is better, but I don't know. I'm still a neophyte in the Hebrew, so I don't know which translations are better. But I know it's better than the KJV, so it's a step. But yeah, yo, all praise to the Most High. May y'all be blessed. May you have protection over y'all. We gonna pick it up tomorrow. We're gonna try to get more people in here. And yeah, we gotta get this reading done. Then afterwards, so we can pick it up again and have more discussions over it. Spells out there. Oh, word. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a Quran. But yo, I'm past my bedtime. I got a sleep schedule of a grandma. So yeah, yo, may the Most High bless you. Praise to the Most High. And shalom, shalom.